good roads, stable power supply, good education, job opportunities, political inclusion, better healthcare, reduction of the cost of living were some of the things we were promised in tomorrow. We were so excited about the hope we had been fed with about tomorrow. But days went by, years went by, and tomorrow never came. Turned out there was never really a plan for tomorrow. It was all a lie to keep us in their mental slavery. Because with each day that goes by, I see my country being stripped of her glory. But we know better now. We are more aware now. It is time to take our country back from these hijackers who keep recycling themselves. If this tomorrow must come, we will have to create it ourselves. But this time, with someone we can trust. Someone who understands our pain. And so I call on every Nigerian youth. Come 2023, come out and vote. Because our vote is our power. When you vote, vote for a man we can trust. Vote for a breath of fresh air. Vote Abubakar for president.
Hello guys, welcome back to yet another exciting episode of Social Trends on AtikuLive, and I remain your favorite host, Sarah, and I have with me
Good morning, viewers. Good morning, Sarah.
You are about to stutter. You don't remember your name this morning. Thank you. I know I look very good this morning. Like, I've been receiving compliments, guys. It's been a very beautiful Monday morning, and the weather is nice. I see today going, very beautifully. And just let's dive right in. We have so much to talk about today. We have a lot of Twitter hashtag trends. Like, people are seeing a lot that is going on, right? There's the hashtag Dele Alake. There's hashtag WhatsApp BC. Let's just dive right in, because I'm sure you guys have come across it, but you probably don't even know what it's about. The hashtag Dele Alake has the spokesperson for Bola Tinubu, which is the 2023 presidential candidate for APC. He was in an interview, and he was asked about the funding, how Bola Tinubu came up with his his finances. How is he so wealthy? Like, why do we not know anything about him? Like, they asked him a lot of questions, and he seemed dumbfounded. He was just beating around the bush. If you watch that video, guys, you see that he is just beating around the bush. Let me quickly read out what a comment under that video said. Someone commented the username, a distinguished field marshal on Twitter. He said, "Nobody knows a damn thing about Tinubu, and it shows in interviews. They don't know where he's from, his real name, his age, his family before marriage, his life before Chicago, how he has made money, and so forth. Every time someone goes to defend him on TV, they struggle to do so." This was what somebody commented under the video, and I laughed.
Well, this Dele Alake ordinarily is a very brilliant individual, a very good public communicator, a distinguished journalist par excellence, and he showed his mark when he was Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Lagos State under Governor Bola Tinubu. But listening to him yesterday, I saw a man who has lost all these characteristics, and was sounding like a neophyte, and then one that doesn't even know the rudiment of his job. But again, you sympathize with him because it is very difficult to market the candidacy of Bola Tinubu without sounding incoherent and even stupid. Dele Alake made contradictory statements yesterday. He was asked, who owns Alpha Beta? Alpha Beta is a consulting firm in Lagos State that is solely responsible for the taxation of the state. So they receive about 2.6 billion naira monthly from the coffers of Lagos State government. And before the Governor Sanwo-Olu came to power in 2019, Alpha Beta was paid roughly 800 million to 1 billion naira monthly until Governor Sanwo-Olu increased the money to roughly about 2.6 billion. Now, the question is, who owns Alpha Beta? There are discussions on the streets of Lagos, even across the country, that Tinubu has interest in Alpha Beta. Not just interest, that he owns the company. Dele Alake, rather than answering the question, he said Tinubu is not, that they should go to CAC and sell listing Wemco, whatever co. But the funny thing is that just only last year, a former MD of Alpha Beta took the company to court, and Tinubu name featured. In fact, it was the prominent defendant in that case. He alleged that about 100 billion naira tax fraud by the company, and said that Asiwaju Tinubu instigated his removal from office as MD because he wanted to investigate the fundings of the Alpha Beta, the finances side of Alpha Beta. And just January this year, his counsel, a senior advocate of Nigeria, told the court, the Lagos State High Court, that the former MD, Asiwaju himself, Asiwaju Tinubu himself, and the current MD of Alpha Beta, they've reached out of court settlement. Now tell me, if Tinubu doesn't have a controlling interest in Alpha Beta, why will he go to engage in a out of court settlement in Alpha Beta with the former MD? Aside that, Dele Alake, they asked him, come on, what is what primary and secondary school the Tinubu attended? We all have our history. I attended primary school in Ikoyi. I attended St. Gary's College in Ikoyi. I'm sure you have yours. Even
of course.
Alhaji Atiku own is an open book. That of Mr. Peter Obi and other personality. Now this is a man that is aspiring to lead Nigeria. Again, he could not answer. He was saying that Tinubu was schooled at home. He was taught at home by a private tutor. He even cited the instance of the late monarch Queen Elizabeth II of England, of Britain, that she was also tutored at home. But Queen Elizabeth is 93 years old.
Yes.
Tinubu claimed to be 70. Tinubu contemporary in the royal family is King Charles III.
Wow.
And King Charles III educational history is an open book. It's from primary education to secondary to tertiary. Now, aside that, even Queen Elizabeth had decided, we know who tutored her. The qualifications she obtained while being home tutored is an open book. But who tutored Tinubu? Nobody knows. Okay, where is certificate? You were tutored at home and you went to write the exam and pass and everything. Can we see
Where's
certificate?
the proof?
No,
Yeah.
where is the proof? No, where did you write the exam? No. Or was he also his own personal examiner? No. Now, again, going further than that, you see, Dele Alake, they asked him the names of Tinubu. Is Tinubu real mother, the late Madam Tinubu, Madam Mogaji Tinubu? He said yes. Okay, fine. Then why is Tinubu past shady? He said because Tinubu from a poor family. But Madam Mogaji was a wealthy woman in Lagos State. So you cannot say that your mother is wealthy and you are from a poor background. There is a very big
gap.
Disconnect.
It's not adding up.
Now, again, as if that's not all, they now ask him the real name of Tinubu. There are rumors on the street that say, oh, his name is Amoda Ogunlere, that Tinubu was an adopted name for, that he collected the name after the death of the daughter of the late Madam Mogaji and everything. Now, they asked him, what he said Tinubu is his real name, and later made a contradictory statement and said even Bill Clinton adopted the name Clinton from his foster father. Is this saying that Tinubu also adopted Bola Ahmed Tinubu from Madam Tinubu? If that's the case, no problem. What was Tinubu's name before he adopted the name?
Silence. So that we can at least know a past. There is no past to him.
Now, you see, you have a man who wants to govern Nigeria as a country. We know nothing about his history. We know nothing about his background. We've not seen anybody come out to say there is contemporaries, no primary school mates, no secondary school
childhood
mates,
friends,
no childhood friends, no neighbor, nothing. He's just on his own. So again, such a man, I believe that he has a date with his conscience. He should first settle with his conscience and come open to say, look, these are my pasts. So that if he has been shady in the past and he has repented, Nigerians can forgive him and tell him, look, Oga, we're forgiving you, but go home and rest. We cannot hand over our country to a character or a personality whose foundation and background cannot be traced. I can trace my root down to when I was born.
Of course,
Even my
as
father
it should
too,
be.
even my grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
But why not Asiwaju Tinubu? He claimed to be 70 years of age. I don't doubt him. King Charles is 73 years of age. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is over 74 years of age, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Even the current president, Muhammadu Buhari, we know his foundation, we know his siblings, we know his nephews, we know his aunties, we know his relatives. And these are big people that are older than Tinubu, so to speak. Even the late MQ Abiola, who is far older than Tinubu, we know his background. Why not Tinubu? So there are a lot, and I think Nigerians that have been reacting to Dele Alake are in the right, and I'm happy that this conversation is going on.
Yes.
Gone are the days we hand over our collective resources and the future to a man whose past his own handlers doesn't know. Now, the funny thing is that if people that are close to Tinubu don't know his foundation and background, how much more we the citizens that
yes.
they are selling him to? And before this man came on board, the Minister of State for Labour, Barrister Festus Keyamo, a senior advocate of Nigeria, once came out to say, look, that Tinubu should be commended because he was brilliant, intelligent. He was defending him, defending a man without background, or rather without a known background, because everybody he has a background, but it's not known.
Not known.
Now, ironically, the same Festus Keyamo, when Tinubu was governor of Lagos State in 2001, he dragged the Lagos State House of Assembly to court to say that, look, Tinubu's background and educational credentials in primary and secondary, that they are obnoxious, and there is a gap. And he said, look, because of this question, unanswered question, that the State House of Assembly should invite Tinubu and follow the route of impeach him, so that he will go home and sort himself out. They refused, he dragged them to court, and he lost up to the Supreme Court. Irrespective that he lost, the record is there that he dragged him to court over the same issue. Why are they bringing the same man now to sell the same person? So again, it's unfortunate that we are in this situation.
It's so funny because when he was even asked, when the spokesperson, that's Dele Alake, when he was asked if Bola Tinubu has any investments here in Nigeria, it was so mind-blowing the way he answered. He said, "What is my business? What is my business if he has any businesses here in Nigeria?" Let me just quote him. He said, "What is my business about the company that he owns in Nigeria? If tomorrow you become like Bola Ahmed Tinubu, why should I be bothering about the companies you own as long as it is not proved that you have taken the money of your state or whatever company you work for?" This statement is weird.
Exhibition of arrogance.
Absurd.
And Dele Alake, due to the defective products that he has been taxed to market, has been yesterday employed arrogance to cover for his for the incompetent product. A public officer should be an open book to society. As long as you are aspiring for any public office, or you are in a public office, you should and must be ready to answer any questions about you, yourself, your family, and everything around you. Because you are seeking the mandate of millions of Nigerians for them to give you their resources for you to preside over in trust. Now, if you are going to an organization to apply for a job, they ask you these questions. They will ask for your biodata, your age, they will ask for your name, they ask for your academic and professional foundation, they ask for your skill, the skill you've acquired. Some even go to the extent of you asking for your past.
Yes, they go back to those old companies you work for and want to know.
So, now, Dele Alake is saying that, that people are jealous of Tinubu. Why should we be jealous of him?
It's not jealousy. This is just an information that should be made public.
They asked him Tinubu's job. He said Tinubu contested the election in 1991 and they have been sponsoring a candidate for election. Come on, tell me, when as sponsorship or supporting candidates for various offices become a job? It's not a job, it's a vocation.
And he has still not answered the question.
He gave evasive answer because he knows that if he should give the right question, the right answer rather, it will be an indictment on the personality of his principal. And again, let's look at it from this other angle. He may not even be aware of the right answers to give. Probably he was so the dummy. He accepted a dummy, and he believed that Nigerians are unintelligent enough to accept that dummy that he has accepted. So it's unfortunate, and you see, this is why you have to respect certain persons, especially within this context now. His Excellency Atiku. In every forum that he finds himself, he is not afraid, shy, to speak of how he was born in Jada, how he grew up, how he rose to, how he got employed into the custom service, how he rose to the position of deputy director, so to speak, how he resigned, how he went into farming, his investment in business, his life as a public servant, his life after public service, how he ran for elections and everything. All these are open book for him, and they can be verified. There is no discrepancy, there is no dispute whether his age or his background, nothing. But there is this gap, there is this thing that doesn't fit in, and Nigerians have tried so much to put one or two together, but they still can't. Even Tinubu handlers, yesterday Alaki, I pitied him because I saw a man, a white-bearded man, trying so hard to make sense, but never made any sense. And it's unfortunate that a distinguished personality of such repute will fall so low in the guise of marketing a defective product. I think we should commend him for him coming on air, for having this courage to misbehave on national TV. It's commendable.
Imagine trending on Twitter for the wrong reasons. Like, everybody now is just blasting him on Twitter. Like, how can you come on air and you have no idea what you're talking about? You're a spokesperson for this man and you don't know anything about him. You shouldn't even have the guts to come, because people will fire you with questions. What are you expecting?
Well, going forward, I would just advise the Tinubu camp to avoid public space. They can discuss on the WhatsApp platform and hope that Nigerians will not talk about these issues. But unfortunately for them, we will keep talking about these issues, and we cannot entrust Nigeria to a man that his foundation is defective.
Well, guys, let's talk about the case of Tokor Mamu, who was, the person who negotiated the release of the Kaduna train kidnap. Yeah, so apparently, in case you guys did not know, he has been in the custody of the DSS all this while. And a Kaduna-based sheikh, who is Sheikh Ahmad Gumi, just broke silence, and then he made a statement to the DSS that they should either charge Tokor Mamu with any allegations that they found proof for, or they release him.
You see, again, my problem with certain personalities in this country, especially Sheikh Gumi, who is supposed to be respected monarch, respected cleric rather, is that they talk carelessly. Now, this man is the publisher of Era newspaper, and Mahmoud is an aide of Sheikh Gumi, and he has been involved in a negotiation with the terrorists on the Kaduna that kidnapped them, the victims of Kaduna 3. But you ask yourself a fundamental question. Those informations that he was sharing on his platform and social media, how did he come about them? What is this link he has with these bandits? What are they not telling us? Even Sheikh Gumi, at a point, it was not earlier this year or last year, he visited the camps of bandits. He visited their camps, and he had a discussion with them. There were photographs all over the place. No a rumor. This happened. So you ask yourself, what is that link they have with bandits? There have been instances where Sheikh Gumi will come out and make statements that will portray him as one holding a brief for bandits. for bandit. When the federal government declared bandit as a terrorist organization, and this thing, Shegumi came out to condemn the move of the federal government. So you start to imagine what is the relationship between Shegumi and these bandits. Mahmoud was arrested in Egypt. The Egyptian authorities extradited him to Nigeria and handed him over to DSS. Now, DSS came out to say, this man is in our custody. We searched him. We saw some incriminating evidence on him and everything. So why can't Gumi wait and allow investigation to be concluded? The investigation is ongoing, and the case of that likely dwells on terrorism and internal insurrection is not one that should be handled with kid gloves.
Yeah, it shouldn't be taken lightly, of course. I
keep saying it, that they arrested Mamu should come clean, be open. If he has any link with these bandits and terrorists that has turned Nigeria into an insecure state, he should be open and say it. If he needs forgiveness, we'll forgive him, but he will face the law.
Well, the DSS has released a statement that he's being questioned on the rising insecurity in the country. And, you know, like relating to what you just said now, like why is there a correlation between them and these bandits? Like, why is like their family or something? Why will you be visiting even just a normal madman or something, I'll be feeling somehow to go close. And then you're talking about terrorists and you're chilling in their camp.
Now, you see, again, and this is also an indictment on Nigeria. Mamu has been in Nigeria. He was not arrested. He was working freely. He went to Egypt. If not that the Egyptian authority arrested him, I'm sure he will still be a free man in this country. So it shows that it also boils down to the incompetence of this correct administration. What the DSS is doing, they are just, I think, they are just doing what I would say it's an afterthought. Because if they were proactive, they shouldn't have even allowed Mahmoud to even travel to Egypt in the first instance. But this man left Nigeria to Egypt, arrested there and came back. So the current administration is still not sincere with the fight against terrorism and banditry. They are not serious about it. And if not for the intervention of the judicial authority,
he will still be a free man.
He will still be a free man in this country. The last time DSS what we were telling Gumi, was it yesterday that he should watch it, he should be careful with his speech. Come on, if Gumi has made any inciting statement, invite him. He's not above the law.
Of course.
The government should stop playing to media gallery. They should come out clean. I believe that no foreign authority will make such an arrest without any evidence. They must have had their evidence, and they must have had their reason to arrest Mamu. And if they can pinpoint that reason in faraway Egypt, why not in our own country, Nigeria? So we just hope that proper investigation is carried out, and the outcome is not swept under the table as usual, as we have seen since this administration came to power in 2015. And justice is done, not at least for the sake of every victim of banditry, terrorism. A lot of people have lost their lives. Some are mourning, some are incapacitated emotionally and physically. So I believe that Nigeria as a country owes these people this duty of ensuring that justice is done, and justice must be seen to be done.
Yes, I agree with you. Anything you say, you always say it with so much intensity. Anything you say, sir, we'll do that. Guys, the last story for today, we have the Senator Ifeanyi Ubah. That was a very sad story when I came across. Fortunately for him, he survived an attack, an assassination attack, as it seemed, because, you know, there were a lot of bullets. 8 of his aides even died in the shootout. Like, it's just really sad, honestly, that 8 people had to lose their lives in a tragedy like that.
Well, yesterday was another nightmare for the people of Anambra State, because we have 8 humans with family, with loved ones.
Of course.
They left their home in the morning. They tell their wives, "Honey, I love you. When I come back, we'll see." they tell their children, "When I come back, I'll get you your bicycle, I'll get you your ice cream and biscuit." But unfortunately, they
didn't make it back.
You see, what is the value of life in this country? Earlier this year, a member of the House of Assembly in Anambra State, was it last year or thereabout? Earlier this rather, he was kidnapped, killed and beheaded in Anambra State. Last year or thereabout, the husband to the former NAFDAC DG, Dr. Akuyele, he was assassinated in Anambra State. Now, these are high-profile killings. I'm not talking of other killings. Police stations, police formations have been attacked. Policemen, military men have been killed. Same in Anambra State. The insecurity in Anambra State is becoming alarming. But it did not start today. It has been on for the past 10 to 12 months. This has been on. Before the Anambra election in November 2021, I was in the state. I know what I witnessed. I spent 3 weeks in Anambra State, in Ogidi especially. I know what I witnessed. Anambra State today, every Mondays, nobody can go out for their work or school because a certain group have declared, unconstitutional, a non-state actor declared mandatory sit at home. Nobody dare defy it, not even members of the state government. Now, again, we have the president, who is supposed to be the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, who is supposed to be in charge of the lives and security of every Nigerian, irrespective of their location and ethnic or religious affiliation. He is doing nothing. We have a minister of interior who is supposed to handle this on behalf of the government. He is doing nothing. You have the Inspector General of Police, Director of DSS, Chief of Army Staff, and other military formations and paramilitary agencies, but they are not doing enough. 7 policemen were killed yesterday. A principal aide to Dr. Ifeanyi Ubah was also killed yesterday. Dr. Ifeanyi Ubah is the senator representing Anambra South. Now, if such a man is not immune to this attack, how much more the ordinary citizens on the streets? How many more deaths should we swallow until this issue is addressed? Again, we cannot trust this government anymore to protect us. And this is why His Excellency Atiku has always been advocating for community policing and state policing. Because it's obvious that the center is overwhelmed. And I think that the government of Anambra State should start looking inwards. At least, it should emulate the governor of Rivers State, His Excellency in tackling insecurity. He should emulate his colleague in Adamawa State, Oyo State, and thereabout. He should emulate this. Everything is not about politics. When you see that things are working well, are working in the right direction in the state of your colleagues, meet them, get their notes, and then tap from their ideas. But the lasting solution is what I always call devolution of power, granting state governments the power to have their own police and their own internal security arrangements. And this, I believe, is what His Excellency Atiku has been advocating over the years. So we cannot continue to discuss death, killing, and everything. Life is too precious. A house burnt can be rebuilt, but a life lost cannot be brought back.
Of course.
Today, as we are here speaking, communicating with our audience, so about 8 families are mourning in Anambra State. 8 families mourning. Even the senator, he would have lost his life were it not for the bulletproof vehicle that he rode on.
Yes.
So we should keep praying and begging this Buhari administration to rise up to the occasion. They should at least, for once, do something right. If it's to protect Nigerians until February, for us to elect new leadership that will put Nigeria on the path to greatness, and also protect Nigerians till May 29, so that they can pack their load and go.
Honestly.
For a PDP government led by Abubakar to come in, so that we can address the main challenges of this country. We cannot be talking of hunger. We cannot be talking of ASU strike. Lecturers are at home. We're talking about ASU strike. A staff of the University of Benin committed suicide because of the continuous ASU strike.
That is so sad.
We cannot be talking about our students that have been at home. No education for them. Nothing for them. Their future is hanging on the balance. We cannot be talking about people not be able to travel from Abuja to Kaduna State without casting and binding and going to the mountain. And yet, be talking of lives that are lost. Every day you check your phone, you check the social media, you check the newspaper headlines, you see one death or the other. Again, enough is enough.
Enough is enough, honestly, enough is enough. Guys, we hope for more exciting gists, tomorrow, because today is not a very exciting one for me, hearing about all these deaths. It's just sad, it's unfortunate. All right, guys, it's been a very good time with you. Catch us same time tomorrow. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and drop your comments. I've told you before, nobody will attack you if you drop your comments. Tell us your opinions. Just tell us your mind. Tell us as it is. All right, guys. Stay connected. Same time tomorrow. Your favorite host, Sarah, signing out.
I'm Toyin Bakanista. See you tomorrow.